Hey everybody, howdy folks, it's Matt here. So I'm gonna make this video here. I don't even know if I'm gonna post it yet. At this point, I'm just out here in my shop, actually, as you can see. My shop is my sanctuary. So I'm just out here in my shop hanging out, getting some fresh air. So getting some fresh air in the shop. So I am taking a DNA test. Pretty cool, huh? DNA. Okay, so I'm taking a DNA test. Why am I taking a DNA test? Let's start back in 1982. I'm 41 years old now, and for anybody watching this video that doesn't know me, I've got a wonderful wife, 4 amazing children. And so life is not bad at all. 41 years ago, however, back in 1982, from what I understand, my birth mother abandoned me at 10 months old. Now, if you would have caught me, I don't know, even as little as 6 months ago, I would have had a more elaborate story for you that involves some story that was told to me that my birth mother had an affair with another man and she had 4 other kids, and she decided to go back to her husband that she was separated from, and her husband told her, well, you can't bring another man's baby back with you. So at 10 months old, she chose to abandon me, and so I was placed into foster care for 2.5 years, and then I was adopted by Tom and Karen Shaughnessy. They gave me my name, Matthew Shaughnessy, at 2.5 years old. I'm just gonna say something, to be honest with you. My name is ridiculous. It's not my name. It was a name given to me by 2 people that never should have been allowed to adopt a child in the first place. But in the 80s, adoption was crooked. Closed adoptions were huge. And the culture was extremely judgmental towards mothers that were giving their children up for adoption. I've come to find out many things, many lines were crossed, birth records were falsified, hospital records, you name it. Everything was falsified, everything was changed, because back then the culture was, it's in the best interest of the child for the adopted parents to act like they're the actual real parents anyways. In my case, that was not it. These people never should have been allowed to adopt. I was severely abused by them, to the point to where, if we really want to get down to the nitty gritty of it, I can, show you scars that I still have on my body to this day. One specifically given to me by my adopted mother, and multiple given to me by my adopted father. And so they beat me into a bloody pulp, longer story short, until I entered back into the foster care system as a full-blown ward of the state, which at that point I was trafficked. When I entered back into the foster care system, I came with a huge paycheck behind me. There was, obviously I was a severely abused child, so there came a need for high structure, and with that came a high paycheck to the lowest bidder. And at that point, I was passed between homes and residential treatment centers, juvenile lockdown facilities, until I aged out of the system at the age of 18, having severed every connection with my adoption family due to severe and extreme abuse, obviously, and having no connection or understanding of my origin, where I come from, who my birth parents are. I have no idea about any of that, and never have. And so I decided I would take the giant leap, and I would go ahead and I would start searching for my birth family. And boy, let me tell you, that has opened up a wound like none other. I knew it was going to be a painful journey. I knew painful truths were going to be revealed. I just wasn't prepared for just how much, just how bad just how bad the wound is, you know. And so one of the things that I've been blessed to find are some organizations that absolutely support people like me. And yes, I say people like me because I am not the norm in our country and culture. Bottom line is, you know, abandoned at 10 months old, adopted to an abusive family, ended up back in the foster care system, graduated out. I never had a hope and a prayer. I have no family whatsoever. Period. Never had. Everything you see on YouTube, everything you see on Facebook, my wife, my children, I have worked extremely hard to achieve, to overcome the pain, to overcome the nightmares, to overcome everything. That's actually why in some of my YouTube videos I kind of tell people, you can't beat me. The worst that could happen to a human being on this earth has literally happened to me, and it didn't just happen to me when I was abandoned at birth, or when I was adopted out at 2.5 years old, or when I entered back into the foster care system, or when I graduated out of the foster care system. It happened to me over and over and over and over and over again. There's literally nothing else. I mean, everything else is just life, literally. So I'm rambling. So this DNA search it's brutal. And so for 40 years now, I was told by my abusive adopted family that I should never want to find my birth mother, that she was this horrible, evil person. And quite honestly, that's really messed up. I mean, I have lived with that narrative my whole life. And this DNA search, beginning this DNA search, something I've had to come to accept is the fact that every bit of information I have been given up until now has come through a filter. It's come through the filter of the adoption agency. It's come through the filter of the state. It's come through the filter of my truly evil adopted parents. And so I honestly just recently have had to come to terms with the reality that I don't know the truth. I don't know what is actually true and what is not true. Because everything that has been told to me has come through a filter. And so I really hope that DNA and all of that, we can get to the bottom of this. Something that I found called the primal wound, which is a theory that adoption, regardless of whether it goes perfectly well or it goes absolutely horrible, bottom line, separating a child from its birth mother, regardless of the reason, breaking that child birth mother bond is absolutely traumatic, and it affects the development of a human being throughout their childhood, throughout their adulthood. So there's a book out there called The Primal Wound, and let me tell you, if you are seeing this video and you are in the same boat that I am, find this book, The Primal Wound. I'll even put some links on it if I do post this video and all that other stuff. I also found a documentary called Reckoning with the Primal Wound. And so again, bottom line is, when you separate a child from its birth mother for any reason whatsoever, when you break that bond, when you break that connection, it causes a wound so severe, so traumatic, that it affects you throughout your whole life. And for me personally, add in the fact that not only was I abandoned at birth or at 10 months, abandoned at 10 months, and then thrown back into foster care, having no connection, no known origin, it really, really creates a hard life, man. Just bottom line is, it is not a life I would wish on my worst enemy, period. To have to wake up every single day and define yourself because you have no connection to your DNA, to your origin. You've never even seen the faces of your mother and father. That is hard to do, trust me, and I do it every day, man. I mean, every day to this moment, I do it. I'll do it again tomorrow, and I'll do it after. And so again, I hope that this starts to bring some answers. So deep breaths, and I've got some really cool people. The Right to Know organization. Sorry about that. I had something come through there. The Right to Know organization, I'm going to get more linked with these guys. Apparently, there's a whole network of volunteers out there, mentors, people that have been in this boat, people that have had profound changes in their life from DNA, people that found out they're the product of a rape, people that found out that their parents just aren't their parents. I mean, just all kinds of stuff, and foundlings and orphans and people like me. And so, because this is huge. This is some big stuff. So I'd also like to share my journey with you. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. So the next step in this process is to get connected with a mentor. I'm real excited about that. And then I just got to really find the courage to go ahead and go through with this, because at this point there's no telling what we're going to find out, and I am prepared for the worst. Disney movies and our culture have really fantasized adoption and stuff like that, and I'm here to tell you that is wrong. Adoption it's not what it's just made out to be all the time. So this could be a really painful journey, and it could have a painful end, but you know what? Regardless of how it ends, good or bad, and I'm definitely going to hope for the best, at least I'll finally have a picture of who my parents are, maybe I'll find some biological family. So who knows? All right, guys, thank you for your support and all of this. It's good to know that I'm not alone. I love each and every one of you. I am signing off.